This is Alexa Chipman here, and I will be talking about casting calls. First of all, be sure to thoroughly read the cast call. A lot of voice actors don't, and it's a real problem. Of course, you must read the recording specs. A lot of people skip that part saying, "Oh, I've auditioned for thousands of things and I know what I'm doing." The problem is that each producer has a different idea of what they want. So, for example, I prefer all the lines for one character in one file. Others prefer them separately, line 1, line 2, line 3, etc. I like it all in one file personally because it interrupts the flow when one is casting. If you have to switch between files, it doesn't quite portray how the voice actor is really doing the character as a whole. It's just it doesn't have a flow. So I prefer one file. Others, again, you need to read it carefully, make sure. Secondly, do read the character descriptions, because I've had 10-year-olds or something trying to audition for gruff, elderly miner. And that doesn't quite work. So be sure and make certain that your voice can at least vaguely match the audition, and do attempt to match what is written there. So if it is gruff, elderly miner and I were auditioning, for example, which I wouldn't because that would be wrong, I could change my voice and be all gruff and dirty beer. At least attempt it. That was my terrible attempt. And once you have sent in your audition, if you have any sort of background noise that is not steady, this could be a cat, or a roommate opening and slamming a door, or the telly on, do make a note in your email when you send in your lines saying, "In this particular case, my roommate left on the telly, he didn't want to miss the Doctor Who finale, and sorry about that." So that way, whoever's casting will know, oh right, this person, although the background noise is there, it won't be there in the lines, I can go ahead and cast them. The first thing I do is run through your lines with a noise reduction filter to make sure that it is possible. Because if there really is too much interference, then one can't post-produce it, and you could be the finest voice actor in the world, but unusable. In fact, a lot of the fine voice actors on the internet have terrible background noise problems, but we deal with them. Please do try to avoid that. It can be as simple as, I've noticed if you have your microphone near your computer fan, try to at least angle it away. So it really makes a large difference if you point your mic away from your fan. Yes. As for the auditions themselves, again, I look mostly for how your voice sounds with the character. You could be, again, an excellent voice actor, but you just don't sound like the character, so I won't cast you. And you might hear the person who is cast and say, "Oh, their quality is terrible and they're not enunciating properly, la-di-da-di-da." The problem is that when you or someone else auditioned, it did not sound like the character. There's nothing that one can do about that, really. Don't take it personally, I've had some people that did. So really, last of all, when you're being cast, don't take it personally at the end if you're not cast. And also, you're always open to emailing whomever did the casting and asking why or why not. I do get several of those from voice actors who have asked, "Why wasn't I cast in this part?" And I'm always happy to answer and inform them why. Normally it's either your noise was too dreadful or your voice just didn't seem right. It was too young, too feminine, or whichever. You're probably wondering, what is this? And this is a C-curve, which is halfway between a long bow and a recurve bow. It is probably the sort of bow that Atherton used in scene 1 of Magdalen episode 1 in the Deer Park. You always string it like that. It's an ancient Middle Ages way of doing it. You don't want the bow to touch the ground. At least according to the Hungarians, which is where I bought the bow and where the cast of Robin Hood got their bows, so where can you go wrong? This one's name is Allendale because Gwendolen, you know why it's called Allendale.